Hey everybody, we're back! What is that too?
No.
Cheesy of an
Well
opening
done.
for you?
No. Well done. I like it.
So welcome to episode 2, episode dos.
We just doubled our episodes.
We doubled our episodes. We doubled them. That's something. That means that we're going to keep doing this, right?
We are.
Do it once,
I think
continue.
So.
Do it twice.
Do it once, shame on us.
Shame on us.
Do it twice, shame on you.
Do it twice, we're bound to do it thrice.
3 times, they can't stop. Nobody can stop us.
Nobody can stop it. So yeah, welcome to the Happy Media. We've got some all sorts of great subjects to cover today. Don't worry, probably won't be as intense as our Batman versus Superman discussion.
It won't go as long, that's for sure.
Yeah, it won't go near as long. We're going to try to keep it to an hour this time around, so you can feel happy about that. But yeah, also I doubt that the issues will be as contentious this time around, but we will see. We will see. I don't exactly know Eric's stance on all of the issues we're going to talk about, but we'll find out.
That's the fun of it.
That is the fun of it. It's an adventure. So to start things off, I don't know if you noticed, we're in a different place this time around. For those at least who are watching the video.
Came over, I went over the mountain, I went into the valley. I came to the other side. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back in LA.
Yes, he is back. He took a little adventure.
I used to live here way back. I mean, yeah.
Well, where are we?
We're in LA.
Not just LA.
We're Hollywood.
We are in Hollywood. That's right.
I don't know, zip code, right? We're in Hollywood. We're totally in Hollywood, right?
To sum it up,
for all intents and purposes. So what's the first thing that I said when I came in here?
That's what I was getting at.
Holy shit! Everyone is gorgeous. Not just attractive, but like really, really amazing looking. And I don't think I'd be able to do any. I wouldn't be able to get anything done. And I don't remember. Well, I wasn't necessarily. I was still in West LA, but I wasn't necessarily in like the best section. But yeah, man. But because this is definitely it. Like you're pretty sure that people are trying to get into the industry.
Oh, definitely.
It's not like actor, actress, director. Oh, here's an engineer. There's no engineers here.
Engineers.
There's
what?
no.
What are you doing here?
Not there's anything. Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go.
You gotta get out. You're not hot enough.
We got a profiling thing going.
You need to, You need to get
But yeah, and I'm happy to be here. This is a nice place. It's a really nice place.
So last time we were at the Crate, which was Eric's residence.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful place. Very
it's got its magic. It's got its charm.
Its magic. It's got its charm. It's quaint. It's very artsy. And now we are in a very modern, more...
Say it, man. Drop it. Where are we now?
We're at the Penthouse.
We're at the Penthouse.
And
from the Crate, this is a story of Crate to Penthouse, and then back to Crate. This is a great Hollywood story.
But it's kind of a poser penthouse, to be honest. It's not like what you imagine when you think of a penthouse. Right. You think of going to like the 50th floor.
I chuckled to myself when I say, "Oh, not the top floor." It says PH in the elevator, and like the guy. There was a guy coming out, and I chuckled to myself because of course there's like 15. There's 15 apartments up. What 15, 10?
Yeah, something like that.
It's not. There's no pool.
It's the 6th floor, really, is all it is.
Yeah. It's
the 6th floor, and they just, it's a selling bit, they're like, oh, we'll just call it the Penthouse, and we'll up the price by, I'm not going to say. But, that's what they do. That's what they do here.
It's got its own charm. You decorated everything in a way.
But I've got a great view. I get to see all of the hot ladies walking by, down outside. I've got a balcony, so I get a good view. We actually can see the Hollywood sign from the balcony. So
I'm gonna take your word for it.
Enough of the.
I believe it. Yeah, there goes the idea that we're not in Hollywood. I see it from my stoop. I see Russia from my backyard.
That's it. So
one
more thing.
Okay, no. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, we should jump into the first topic of discussion,
What's that?
which is what's new for us in media.
All right. I've been waiting for this. Hold it. Hold it.
Hold it. Oh, we don't have time for this. We only have an hour this time around. Oh, guys, Eric just gave me a Christmas wrapped present.
It's got little reindeers on it.
It's got reindeers.
It's cute.
And snowflakes. But I love Christmas. He doesn't. He thinks it's like some sort of commercial monster.
I'm kind of halves. I'm a halves on it. It depends what I'm feeling that day.
But
Weird Christmas in California is weird. You get snow in Texas.
I am just mutilating this.
I mean, you're not saving it. I got this at the 99. I got it from the 99-cent store, man. I just heard it.
Some people save the wrappers. Get ready for this, internet. That, my friends, is the most gimmicky superhero you will ever see.
No, not look.
Gorgeous green.
There.
That's right, Green Lantern.
Show some of that.
Look at him.
So that. I'm gonna put it right in there. Right in there.
Oh.
What is that? What is that? All right. So
he's assaulting the people.
Here's the thing. Like I'm not. People have explained I haven't been 100% on the Green Lantern thing. It's not the Green Arrow, man. But this was the first story that I read. This is 2008. Jeff Johns. Yeah, he does something for both crews, I think. He does stuff for Marvel. He does stuff for DC. And this is an origin story that is good. Like it's one of the more recent ones. It ties in some plot scenarios that leads to Blackest Night, which I haven't read yet. But I thought this was a good, solid introduction to the character. Much better than that movie, man. That movie. Here's the
Which
thing.
movie?
Yeah.
That movie.
Title drop. And also, I should say, this is, I mean, I don't know. If they shot it, if they did it like this, it would have been a lot better. Also, Sinestro is awesome, man. Like, I see him on the list to be like a lot. Where's your address?
We got some peeps. No. It's just my roommate coming back.
Not just.
But, not just. No. He's fucking Kelso. He's the man.
Read that and let me know.
Kelso's actually an engineer. Of all things, so.
Is that true?
It is true.
Is that true?
It's true.
But he's still good. He's a good-looking engineer. I didn't get a good look at it.
But the thing is, he's only going to be here a couple months. So
of course,
he knows he has to go back.
he picked something out randomly. Maybe I just saw something in your books.
No, he's told us. He said Denver is where he wants to be, or Colorado. LA's not his place, right, Kelso? You're not about LA. Not really.
It's people, roommates doing podcasts all the time. That's the problem.
Yeah. So anyway, back to Green Lantern. I like that the bad guy is red. That really tells me that he's up to no good.
No, actually, well, spoilers. That's Evan, sir.
Is he good?
Yeah. He's the guy that.
Oh man,
his ring becomes Green Lantern's ring. I'm totally ruining everything, but it's in the origin. So
his eyes are glowing. And
yeah, it's because he's a Green Lantern.
Usually, glowing eyes signify villainous tendencies. Am I the only person here?
This is Will. You know what I mean? It just depends. You gotta get to know him. Get to know him, man. Game of Thrones. The Thrones have been treating me good. Like this is a shine. Yeah. I'm never getting off that wagon ever again. As soon as an episode gets out, I'm gonna see that thing as soon as possible. There are so many freaking spoilers out there that if you animate all the spoilers, you actually watch episodes of the show. Like there's that much. By the way, our only comment on our first video. I
didn't see it. No, I didn't.
All right. So our only comment was a guy who must have scanned me saying spoilers like 80,000 times because I don't,
Yeah, sure.
And he just like I came out and I said, oh man, I got this great, or like an app. I heard there was an app where they automatically edit out all the Game of Thrones stuff. This is an app. The thing that this guy hooked me up with is phenomenal because any keyword you throw in, it edits out forever.
What?
You can totally customize it. It just puts a a red patch over it, and it just says warning, spoilers, Game of Thrones, warning, spoilers, Batman, warning, spoilers, and just whatever you put in, and then you can edit out things you just don't feel like seeing anymore, like Trump.
Man, I gotta get this stat.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, man. You know, that old Game of Thrones thing. That app only did Game of Thrones and only did like specific websites. This will take out stuff like if you just type it. You know, like I just typed Green Lantern. Oh man, I don't want that on there. It just, and then you just click on the corner of whatever box it is to get rid of it. Or you could turn it off anytime. Anyway, I forget what it's called. I think it's called spoiler protection. You know, something really. So anyway, thank you for our one commenting listener.
Yeah. Hey.
And like, you know, I was thinking like the perfect comment. Which guys, you could write anything. I thought the perfect comment would have been like something like, "Who the fuck are these guys?" And just to get us started, that would be. Yeah. In fact.
It's not too late.
It's not too late, guys. I'm just putting it out there. But as far as like information is concerned, this was the best comment that anybody ever gave me. So there is that.
Well, guys, I'm a little behind on Game of Thrones. I'll be the first to say it. I've only seen season 1. So judge now.
No.
But I will say, yeah, season 1 was amazing, and I intend to binge up to the current episode within a couple weeks because I'm kind of in a lull between my jobs, so I'm going to try to get at it. But in the meantime, I have been watching some things that take less commitment, like 500 Days of Summer. I saw that for the first time, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and I also saw Don John, so I did 2 of those Joseph Gordon-Levitt films. And they were both very excellent, you know, kind of romantic films, but not your typical romantic films, you know, definitely got a spice of realism thrown in there, so I recommend you guys check them out.
Both good. Yeah, both solid films. I've seen them both.
Yeah. You know, I'm not one to tend to gravitate towards romantic films, but these ones I highly recommend them. Can be a little sad at times. So just a warning there. But I also saw Eternal Sunshine. We're talking about romance, and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind with Jim Carrey.
That's a good one.
What
I mean, like
mind-bender.
The writer of that. Oh man, what's his anyway?
Charlie Kaufman?
Yeah. So we knocked out that. You knocked out. We knocked out Adaptation.
Adaptation, also very
we did
great.
Me and John Malkovich together.
Mm-hmm.
You saw. We both saw separately the
Anomalisa.
The puppet. Yeah. Good pull, man.
I know, difficult one, but it's because it took me so long to figure out how to say it. So now I'm never gonna say it wrong.
Anomalisa.
Anomalisa. Odd movie, by the way.
He's definitely one of these signature screenwriters. Whoever's attached to him, you get the feel for it just by the quirk of the lines. You know, a lot of the ideas that come up. And the thing is that he's able to go deep without getting super pretentious about it.
Oh no,
He's always down to earth. He's always funny, like really funny, and from scene to scene, you're not trying to hurt yourself trying to figure things out. It's entertaining, second to second. But there's the one movie that he directed himself that wasn't Anomalisa, called Schenectady. Like I
heard that's the one that's not.
And that's it. Yeah. You know, that's him trying to do totally his own thing, but the movie itself does its own thing, and the characters in it do their own thing, and it's worth seeing, but it's a little on the rougher side. It's a little, you know, it's like
I'll get to it eventually. I will.
Gotta cancel stuff, man. Oh, we should mention the 2 Marvel movies we knocked out.
Oh,
The Good and Bad and the Ugly.
Might as well. Our first podcast was all about superheroes.
Yeah.
Keep up the trend.
We saw Civil War together.
Captain America.
Had a good time. We saw X-Men
Apocalypse. Had a good time.
And it still had a good time because it was so bad.
It was so bad. It was so earth-shakingly bad.
No pun. Apocalyptically bad.
Earth-shakingly. I mean, I'm using those words purposefully.
Oof.
At
points we're just laughing. We're just laughing like we're in school or in the middle of church, and we're just like because it just got ridiculous. Like, what are we watching here? And to go from
it was goofy.
Yeah,
it was a goofy film.
To go from First Class, and aptly named, and Days of Future Past,
which
to
was
this. Days
obviously
of Future
a
Past.
phenomenal
Both
film.
of them are
everybody
great.
can agree on that. But
oh my god.
Yeah, no,
Woo!
You guys are just gonna have to see it for yourselves.
I mean, but it's weird though. I mean, to listen to the apologists out there, and there are
kind of sounds like those Batman versus Superman guys a little bit.
Not exactly. I find that the Batman versus Superman are more down to earth. They're a little better informed, and they're cooler, and they wear better shirts.
I'll give you that. They do wear pretty nice shirts.
All right, so I didn't want to skip over Civil War. I didn't want to. I did because that. This was more recent. The X-Men thing, and I gotta say, Civil War, while not being the best Marvel movie, has stuff in there that's just. It's great for the fans. Mm-hmm. It's a solid, if not. It's a little bit of an arduous story. It's a little rough, but they still bring people together in a very believable way, and payoff, great, tremendous payoff, and again, that's one. I wouldn't look at any trailers on that one, man.
No,
I wouldn't do it.
That airport scene. No spoilers, but there's a scene in an airport.
And they buy tickets, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to go to Japan." Oh,
wow.
No. A little off.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, it's the best, one of the best ensemble films out there. I think it tops the original Avengers, don't you?
No.
You don't think so?
No. Well, I mean, just because of as far as consistency is concerned,
there's more characters. You have to.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, but then that's the push and pull. It's like if you have if there's a better movie to be had with less characters, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
He's got a
but we'll see where it's going. I mean, I can't argue against it because it makes people happy. I don't hate when people get happy.
Speaking of happiness, I'm sure the audience would be happy if we kept things moving on, because we got to keep this around an hour.
Played.
So,
well played.
Segues. So on to our next bit here, corrections and clarifications.
Okay. So very brief. I have very brief.
So I received this outline, and Eric kind of went over it with me. And I'm supposed to be the one who's like leading the discussion since it's my place.
You're totally doing it.
It's like my place, his place, my place. You get it.
Yeah.
But the problem arises when I don't know what the fuck this outline is all about.
We took the time.
He gave me a brief synopsis, but I'm like making tea, like I'm getting a place ready, so I'm like, second topic.
We did talk about it ahead of time. You have it, and you don't have to announce it. You just glance down and make a subtle segue. God knows I've done it a few times. It happened.
I was going for it, but I figured honesty, is interesting. So.
Yeah. So this is just a brief thing based off of the first episode. It's a bird. It's a plane.
Okay.
It's a birds. It's planes. It's Batman v Superman. Anyway.
Sorry, we don't have any birds or planes for you guys this time around.
We got roommates.
We
got ice. We got ice makers.
Got
washing machine, rinse some dishes. This place is air conditioned. Look, there's advantages, disadvantages wherever you go.
That's true. It's very echoey in here. I don't know if you guys have noticed. It's more bare.
Corrections, clarifications. Briefly, that birthday party was my 41st. Wasn't my 40th, so a cat didn't come up to me. A cat came up to me for my 40th, and I spent that with Jesse, our mutual friend, who actually led to getting me the job with
With
your
my
grandfather.
grandfather.
So that's one. And also, I was trying to figure out what we saw together that night, and so we did see.
It was you said DC animated film.
We saw the DC anime. We saw Assault on Arkham.
Assault on Arkham.
Yeah,
we saw
Suicide
that,
Squad
and we
movie.
saw
Suicide-
The Fifth Element.
We saw the Fifth
Right.
Element. So that's the
Which
other
was
one.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah. And you know,
I'm sure you guys know
it's,
that.
it's fun. It's a fun, poppy movie. Great vision of the future. But you know, it's not high art. It's not high art. It's not great art. But you know, it did me good.
And we are connoisseurs of high art.
That's right.
We
Well, we get a little bit of everything. I mean, there's two sides to it. There's the guy, you know, the guys who will freaking watch anything with an exploding car, and then on the other side, there's guys that will watch anything with, you know, if it's foreign, if it's got gay themes or
the social activist watchers.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Where it's like if you break it down and you look at it, it's like this isn't. It's okay.
Movies must have an effect on the world.
Yeah, and you know,
Extreme.
generally, I'm happy somewhere
In the middle.
Yeah.
In the middle.
You know, it's like, you
The
know what I
happy
like? I like
medium.
something where it's an art film, but it's got blockbuster tendencies, like Inception, or anything Chris Nolan does, because he's awesome. I promised myself I wouldn't slur words on purpose for effect. I'm going to say stuff clear.
Yeah, this guy's a mumbler.
Yeah, but I was doing it for comic effect, and then I realized it's just a bad idea because it just nobody knows. It's not funny if you don't know what I'm saying, right?
It's not.
And then finally, I'd like to say, and there's somebody that pointed this out to me. At like one point, we made a transition. We mentioned Bernie Bros. By the way, go vote.
Today's.
We're not going to get this out.
I'm kind of a hypocrite though because I haven't voted
He's
yet.
total. How do you vote? What do you do? I don't even know.
Guys, it's California primaries today.
I vote. You do it. I'll do it.
All right, he's putting his nipple into the camera.
Right there, it is.
I have the camera here.
You don't. You're not worthy to show your nipples yet. But you will.
Bernie.
Maybe I'm voting. I'm not
Boobs
sure.
and Bernie.
Maybe I'm voting for Bernie. Maybe I'm voting for Bernie. Totally did it. But anyway, we mentioned Bernie Bros, and then I said, we totally hate women. And I was going to go on to say that we hate minorities. But the joke being that that's how Bernie Bros are portrayed in the media currently. The Hillary voters have decided to see us that way. And then, you know, it's like, and it's women hater, minority haters. And we're all white men that like Marvel comic book movies, that drink tea, and talk about and argue about fiction all the time. But anyway, no, we love women. We love women. We love minorities. You know, I'm chock full of different freaking things. You know, I got minorities all in me. You know, I got 5. I'm French, Scottish, Irish, Spanish, Puerto Rican, and Ukrainian. So every part of me has been discriminated against by somebody somewhere. Even the Irish, you know, I know the Irish thing is accepted now, but there was a time, man. There was a time.
Yeah. They had their own struggles, you know. The potato famine was pretty bad for them. Those potatoes, dude.
They were discriminated. They were discriminated against by potatoes.
Yeah, those.
That was a bad time.
Potato heads.
Anyway, I want a section where I make things clear. Nobody probably cares, but I do. I like to be clear.
No, that's great. So
that's it.
Clear?
That's all I got. I got 3. I just had 3.
I don't think I made any mistakes when I talked last time. So I think we're good. You know.
We're good. We're good.
All right. So we just need to talk now about how we think the first episode went. I mean, it was our first episode.
Yeah. I mean, most of what we got was a lot of feedback from the 5 people that
we reached out to who listened to it.
And I noticed, I had noticed that The volume levels better on the YouTube camera than on the SoundCloud. But, you know, and it's just because we have different speaking styles.
That's true. This is going to be a gradual thing, guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to take learning. We're going to have to tweak things. I mean, obviously we're doing it here now instead of at Eric's place. And, you know, we're going to see how this sounds, and then we'll go back to his, and then we'll add things.
It's ping pong, man.
You know,
it's ping pong.
It's just improve, evolve, like anything. But you guys get to enjoy what it's like.
By the way, I noticed that we like going over it and finding out exactly all the reasons why we suck. I realized I was like most of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
For some reason,
sure I'm like most of them, plus many that we did not mention.
Yeah. But that doesn't need mentioning. Also, 0 production value right now. It's the second episode. I'm saving money. I'm gonna try to put effort into making this better one way or another. Until then, we just gotta work on the substance.
Until then, you guys are just gonna have to deal with it. You know? Because you're gonna.
And we don't mean that in a
why?
Fuck you kind of way. We mean
just
it
flipped off the camera.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be talking about that and our corrections and clarifications next round.
Yeah. But I think that there's definitely room for improvement. Later on we'll put cuts and things. We'll learn how to work like editing stuff and it's like I love that stuff. I love that.
Oh yeah, it's great. It just comes with time, guys. And it's been over a month since our last post.
That's the other thing.
We're gonna try to do it monthly.
That's the other thing, and I realized that I'm going to end up needing this at some point.
But we're here. We're doing it. It's fun. And don't worry. We can promise you that episodes will come. We can't promise you.
Episodes 15 to 25 are going to kick ass.
It's going to be give or take.
It's going to be the best. Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, it's going to be awesome. Why is it going to be awesome? Because we are fire and ice. Okay.
Good transition. That's hit. You hit your mark. That's it.
Next subject of discussion.
So I mean, all right. So we realized that there were just certain aspects of our character, and it just came out this way. It started with Shepard in Mass Effect. We got to design him our own way, and I noticed he put them all in blue.
Yep.
He put them all, and he was all slick.
I like blue. I'm actually wearing blues right now.
He's got the cool colors, man. I got a little blue on me, but it's mostly the yellow, warm color, hot color. Mm-hmm. And my Sam Shepard. Wait, is it Sam? It's what's his first name? Shepard.
John. It's John.
John Shepard. Sam Shepard is a playwright.
John, Sam, Joe, Steve.
Anyway, Shepard, Asparagus Shepard. His guy was Asparagus Shepard. Way back, and that's a poll from early in our lives.
Okay, but here, in my defense, I had a little something to drink, and I wanted to go with a creative name, so we ended up with a vegetable.
It was probably Sam Ass, man.
But the funny thing is, every video game we've played since, we play video games together. Oh, how nice is that, right?
Yeah.
It's fun when you share a video game together, single-player experience. Not a multiplayer, but a single-player experience. It really does make a difference. It's like watching a movie.
It's an important part of the crate now.
It is. So, if you haven't done that, try it out. But so we name all of our characters after vegetables now. That's a thing, and it's fun. It's just it goes back to the first day.
No reason to do it. I say, fire-wise, my Shepard was red. I don't know if you ended up seeing it, but it also had flames on.
I remember it. It was a little over the top.
Also. When we get up in the morning and we need an extra jolt of electricity, he listens to freaking mellow, smooth.
I listen to indie rock. It's not like it's pretty mellow stuff for the most part. I mean, you get a little rock sections here and there where it's pumping you up, but I'm sure you guys listen to bands like Alt J, one of my all-time favorites.
Which and that's one that he has passed on to me. I'm trying to think. What was their second
album?
Name the albums. There was one that was okay, and there was one that was
yeah. It's album titles are coming to my mind. Right now.
All right. Anyway, I'll look it up. Oh, by the way, this is an improvement thing. anything that I mention or we mention that needs some kind of clarification, we'll put it in the description.
Yes.
If you go back to Batman v Superman episode, the description goes on for days, and I'll try not to. I mean, I know you could look up stuff yourself, but this is just so you don't have to like file it somewhere in your mind or immediately write it down. It's just, you know, any kind of clip, any kind of movie, any kind of book that we're interested in, we'll put it in the description. This one included, just so you know.
Got you.
Okay,
So,
and
yeah.
Meanwhile, I listen to
Metallica,
you know, I listen to
screaming
Metallica,
stuff,
anything
yeah.
that you know gets my blood pumping. I throw movie
Guys, big Coldplay fan
movie
too.
themes. Yeah, I mean,
Coldplay. Oh, we actually both like.
we
Coldplay.
both like Coldplay, man. And you know, again, like I'll listen to everything.
You know,
but
he
when
really likes the stuff that really just like burns you up inside. That
Yeah.
makes you feel like
and
you're on top of the world. You're gonna take down the man. You know, like stuff like Justin Bieber, like his Purpose album.
That's
really
a different. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a different episode altogether.
Exactly.
Does Eric Riviera like Justin Bieber so far? I like one album.
And how about Taylor Swift?
I was listening to that freaking album on the way here. I knew I was getting into the neutral zone where it's not quite my taste, it's not quite his taste, it's somewhere in the middle. It's the happy medium, baby. And then so just one extremely well-produced album that seems to have some really heartfelt lyrics. And
got you on Taylor Swift's
and I got you
1989 too, so
yeah.
making sure he hears all of the pop music that's out there.
Woo!
So
And it's not all, and like, and it takes like that I feel the hate, the hatred turns into love at some point.
Yeah.
And it's not full love. It's not you know, it's conditional love. Where sometimes it works, and sometimes it's like, get this out of my body, I can't. And I hear five songs in a row that I just don't give a shit about.
Speaking of getting things out of your body,
Yeah.
drugs and alcohol.
All right.
Drugs and alcohol.
The title. This is got, and it's, you know, disclaimers already. Alcohol's a drug.
Alcohol. We should just call it drugs and drugs.
It was a drug. Yeah.
Drugs and
all right,
drugs.
Put that in. Drugs and drugs. Drugs and drugs and more drugs. Caffeine is a drug.
Caffeine's a drug.
Sugar's
a drug.
Is a drug. One that
Guys, if you haven't caught on, this episode's about drugs.
This is the one. And
so we're up and at it. We've got half an hour left to talk about.
And we decided
mind-bending experience.
We're aiming for the point. You know, we're aiming for the point. We're going to try to discipline ourselves and not just go on super tangents and answer questions that we just come up with. We're just going to go.
Let's do it. We did not smoke any weed prior to this podcast.
Well, I mean, technically, all we've smoked prior, but not directly prior. Everything we took prior, but over a very long period of time. So, can you imagine if we did all the drugs we've ever done before we came? Oh God, I'd be screaming. I'd be just screaming. And
I think I'd be immobilized. I don't even think anything would be coming out of my mouth. But
I'd love to hear the words. I think that's what you need. And you know what?
I think I'd just be able to make one sound.
I'm gonna do it. Oh God! No, I promise you, I've done that many times. When I'm against the wall, and I just can't handle stuff going crazier for a second. Ohm is a good thing to. The letters, the word,
OHM.
The sound. You know, they say it's God's sound anyway. God's a different drug. We're not going to get into that right now.
Hey.
All right.
Let's try it out.
Ooh. God. We're gonna get a peek.
You're right. I was not thinking at all. I just kind of went with it.
Why do we suck? Because we scream and then we hit objects and the people are listening to cars and they crash into each other.
I have a bong in my hand right now.
I was thinking that. Oh my God! Was that something crushed the drugs and snorted it? And it's this is
not
ancient
a pot bomb.
hallucinogen.
Not a pot bomb, but rather a one
this
of those.
This is ashes of ancestor.
I've got one of those musical instruments that makes a resonating sound.
All right. Yeah,
That's gorgeous.
yeah, and it's still going. If we're going, that's how you just turn it up. Turn it up now.
But anyway, yeah. So it does have a spiritual effect. It probably just had an ear-shattering effect on you guys.
Shout out to John.
John Burton.
God.
He's the theater guy we talked about last
Yeah.
time.
And because well, he's I don't know if we get him in trouble for saying, but he's experimenting. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Like he's snorting some crack
No.
cocaine?
Anyway, see, I'm being too. I don't want him to get in trouble with people, but I'll explain later, and then that'll be a perfect question of clarification and correction.
Yeah.
We'll save it for that in the next episode.
Also, John is the guy that we're eventually going to have on.
We're gonna put
the
him on,
show
yeah, because he is a major part of the crate.
It's a major part of
and
our
he's
lives.
a major part of art. The fact that he likes anything that we do it humbles me.
Oh yeah.
Because
So he's a
this
great
is
guy.
the guy. This is the guy.
That's a guy who's high 24/7. So,
Yeah, he snorts art, man. He chops that.
So
up.
drugs.
He does
Good or
lines
bad?
of that. I think they're good. It's like, all right. So disclaimers, man. Moderation. Moderation. Find your levels. Find your limit. I think the trick is always a lot of drugs that I like enhance an experience that you're having at the time. I don't think that any drug should be taken every day.
No. Yeah.
I don't. I including drugs that are supposed to save your life. That's up for debate.
But is food a drug? And if so, it should be taken every day, shouldn't it? Unless
I
you're
fast. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it includes. You're not going
Eat
to
one
catch
day,
me on
fast.
any. I got some. Unless you write it down, you're not going to catch me in everything. You got to get really early. But yeah, food is a drug, especially because it has drugs in it. It's got the antibiotics. It's got the cortisol, whatever that animal was going through at the time.
Technically, a drug is whatever changes the chemical balance in your brain.
And I should say, just it's interesting that we're connecting it to media, because it's like people wouldn't expect that drug would be a media, but the way we're broadening that definition. The media has something to do with mass production, things like that. Well, guess what? Like when you have a drug, you are mass producing an experience. It's going to be different for everyone, but every single art piece is one of those things. It's a singular experience, but a lot of people have had it. So that's why it's like the best advice I ever heard for a bad trip. And I heard it off of a podcast, the WTF podcast by Mark Maron. And
Mark Moron.
Maron. I think he was at a Grateful Dead concert, and
He's not.
he was going on like some kind of insane LSD trip, and he went through all the different phases of like acceptance of a lot of people think they're going to die. And some people do, not necessarily with LSD, but other things. Anyway, a guy looked at him and knew exactly what he was going through, and he was, he's like a hippie type guy, an old hippie type guy, guru type guy, and just said, "Just hang on, man."
And then he had a heart attack.
Yeah, well, came down. It was good advice. It's like you hang on to the moment. And then you just like with anything else, anything that's bad in your life, and you think, oh my God, this is it. Like this is going to be my reality forever. It's temporary, man. Just get outside of it.
That's true. Except death. Death is actually.
Well,
people debate that
it's
well.
some people, dude.
Religious
You
people-
want to talk about drugs? You ever snort death, dude? Death is fucking awesome.
No, actually, I was just looking into near-death experiences actually yesterday. This death is not the final.
Do you know? Did you ever hear of the movie Flatliners?
Flatliners? I've not actually.
Okay, old Joel Schumacher film. I think it's got Pretty Woman.
Okay.
and Kiefer Sutherland back when they were still going together.
Mr. 24.
And they were using death as a drug. That was the premise, was that they were medical students, and they were able to create a temporary death. You know, they did all the things that they had ice on hand.
Yeah.
They put themselves into cardiac arrest, and then they
replicated
flatlined.
They flatlined.
And with hilarious consequences. No, but I mean, don't do this.
Really?
That's
don't,
it. Like,
okay. We're not advising you guys
geez.
to take LSD or to flatline yourselves. Obviously.
But if you do, do moderation. Just
we're not saying
carefully.
don't do these things either. We're saying it's your own choice. Just be smart about it.
What drugs do you like, and why? Well, first of all, I'm curious. I've been curious about this. What made this be the episode you wanted to do next?
Well, Eric had just been talking to me actually about how he was switching from alcohol. Well, he was trying to drink less alcohol.
I'll explain.
Okay.
So yeah, drinking is fun, and you can get into a pattern with alcohol. It has been known to happen.
It can feel good.
Let me tell 100,000 dead people can't be wrong. I don't know if it's 100,000. I think it's 50,000 a year. I mean, like, it's a lot of people, and then like whatever the medical experiments are. The point is, like there's every single person that says just do 2 drinks a day, and it's actually good for your blood. It's good for your heart. Not one person who does that. No, nobody who says that does that. So I'm trying to. I got it down to 6 drinks at a time. No more than 6 drinks at a time. Would prefer it to be 5, and then prefer it not to be more than 15.
We're talking a week.
Yeah.
A day.
6 drinks in a day currently.
Okay, but you're not doing 7 days a week.
I'm not doing 7 days a week.
That's
now.
I'm just clarifying
right,
there.
And we're not drunk or high or stoned right now.
No.
This is just off the power of the podcast.
No, so he said he's taking he's smoking pot to
so
less alcohol.
And yeah, so when you it's the hard thing is. You're like looking at your last drink and saying, "This is my last drink," and it's so depressing. Like if you could drink more, and you technically don't want to drink, but absolutely do want to drink more, then that last drink is very depressing. One way to get through is just to sip it slowly, or you can extend the high and get into. And then I tried smoking weed. By the way, it's legal in California. Yeah. I got the card. He's
got the card.
I got the green card.
Medical marijuana.
And it did extend the high. It kept me up. It was I ended up getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, just being up. So anyway, back to your thinking.
Yeah, no. So that just made me think about my own experiences with weed, and I had actually smoked recently too, which I thought was kind of interesting because I'd gone
Who did you get smoking first with?
This guy.
Under under really clinically controlled.
Yes,
I was
very good experience.
Very controlled.
Experience. It was safe. It was a safe
environment.
And that's what you need. That's what you need if anytime you're going to do something like that's different. But yeah, so it'd been quite a while since I had smoked last because I was actually having anxiety with marijuana. I'd had some good smokes where it was really awesome and I was relaxed and wasn't anxious. But then I started noticing that I was having more anxious bouts. But then like I was hanging out with some of my friends, my roommates, and they were doing it, and I just felt like it'd been a long time, and I felt like I was able to handle it. I don't know. I felt like I was in a different frame of mind, and I did it, and I was totally fine. And then I did it a couple more times after that.
Like once,
totally good.
I mean, like
so.
My thing with marijuana was, all right. So just briefly, There's no briefly with
no.
It's just
he's on.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it does spare. Okay, so
it's
when
fun.
I didn't smoke until I was 25.
Yeah.
You're again 24.
I'm 24. Yeah.
You're currently 24. and it had an extremely, it was an extreme effect on me. And they like
it had no effect on me.
Right.
The first time. Eric can tell you guys.
Yeah.
I took how many hits? Like 15.
It was a lot. It was a lot, and it could have just been old. It could have been old. It was old weed in the back of the freezer, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
nothing happened. I got hungry, but that's it. I mean, I didn't feel different.
You did end up on the floor at one point.
I had a difficult time swallowing.
That's it.
And so I think
that's it. And then my caregiver elements get into then it becomes all about that.
He was like, just relax. You got like a nice pillow, and turned on some indie music.
I have
show music.
So I have I have Royal, which is probably, and I have Chill, which you're probably more into, and you're like,
he's like, it's fine, just go to another place.
Dude, there's ice. There's ice on the airwaves right now, so everything's fine. That second time though.
Oh, that second time.
You were like. We were playing the
demo.
Mafia 2.
Mafia 2.
And we
Which
got
I've
stuck.
Never played.
And it's cool because it's like a Grand Theft Auto game, and it's set in the 50s, I guess, in the 60s or something like that, and they totally do up the whole neighborhood in that style.
Oh, it's great.
And so when you get outside and you just walk around, you're like,
yeah, it's gorgeous. And I don't know, that may just be that part of the game. Obviously, demos like to show off the best parts of the game.
And then he stopped by the cherry tree.
There was a cherry tree in the backyard of one house.
This tree is amazing. This is a great tree.
And I just couldn't stop looking at the petals and like how the virtual sun was shining through them, pixelating it all. And I was in awe. I was just in utter awe, and I couldn't stop telling Eric how beautiful this thing was and how. So he had to take
it enhances certain. That's the thing.
He took the controller from
it enhances your senses. That's why it makes food taste real good. It makes the stuff on the screen pop out. But it also whatever whatever in your head at the time.
It enhances whatever you're thinking, exactly. Yeah. So if you go into it and you are already thinking, oh, I'm going to be stressed out, or I'm going to be scared, or I'm going to be anxious, that stuff happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very hard to avoid that if you're thinking that. So you have to go in thinking, no, this is going to be really relaxing.
So you bounce between that. So anyway, I could talk for an hour about my pod experiences, but the point being, there's been really good ones and really, really bad ones. Mm-hmm. But both of them gave me a perspective. At the time when I started, I was doing a lot of meditation. I was reading a lot about spiritual experiences. And so it was something for me to experience things spiritually that I'd only thought about. Mm-hmm. And seeing kind of like a physical manifestation. It's ultimately my outlook was changed in that I felt like a core. I felt like you share something with another person. It doesn't matter which person you are. It's no person so different from you that you don't have like a lot of things that you have in common. But that's scary too, because once you follow that too far, you say to yourself, like, I am this person. I am this.
Weed is the way to connect to imagination. That is how you connect.
But I mean, and then it's like, again, it's like wherever your mind takes you. If it's
we get it. It's religious. It's it makes you feel.
But I mean, the bad part is that you connect to everybody.
But some people do it just because they want to talk.
That's fine.
Better.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the people who like go to the other worlds and experience God and all of his girlfriends, and then you have people who literally just want to eat chocolate chip cookies and laugh with their friends.
So drugs are good with other drugs.
So we've both done weed. We've both enjoyed weed. We've both had tough experiences with it, but overall good experience.
Caffeine.
Chocolate, caffeine, of course, all the sweets for the most part.
Sugar.
Who doesn't love sugar?
Cocaine.
I have not done cocaine.
I did a line of cocaine.
You did it once.
I did a line of cocaine, And by the way,
how'd that make you feel, Eric? Did it make you feel really great? Did
went
you
up
feel
and
like
went
you
down.
just took the world?
Interestingly enough, I think like they were looking at people's brain patterns, and they pretty much said that there are similar things going on as far as when you're on cocaine and when you're on a lot of sugar. You know, sugar high is actually very, it's like a cocaine bender. So, if you had a few lollipops, it's the same thing. So, that's not true. I've done ecstasy once. And actually, that kind of ties into my pot experiences because the sensory thing. But it's just super sensory thing. It's like freaking all that, and to the point where
now I've heard that ecstasy gives you a really bad next day. I've heard that it makes you
I read stuff about it. Again, I'm not automatically going to know the science on this, but it fucks with your spinal fluid. I'm told. And that you got to drink a lot of water. I think there's that song by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Get it away now.
Nope, but
continue. What you gotta give you. I'm gonna send you. What doobly do? It'll be in the.
Not as familiar with.
It will be in the description. Oh man. Anyway, it'll be in the description. I'm not that freaking old.
The classic rock that I know comes from Guitar Hero.
Anyway, it's a great song. And anyway, there's a lyric in there about doing a little dance and you drink a little water, and I think it's an ecstasy reference. So you gotta drink a lot of. None of these stuff. I mean, never did heroin, though. Oxycodone, a lot of the prescription pain medication.
Question: is that kind of safer than crack cocaine?
All right, so here I'm going to throw you a study. One of the studies I looked up was comparing different drugs and how safe a normal ingestion take is. It's just like what a normal dose of the different ones. And alcohol was far and away more dangerous than anything, including heroin.
Wow.
The reason being is because heroin, a set dose is just more safe. Just think of how many people get hurt.
True, because with alcohol you just keep taking doses.
Right. And you don't know when to stop.
But people who are taking those set doses of heroin, do they not?
Well, I mean here's the thing though. The reason why there's so many overdoses with heroin is that the street. Sometimes the street puts out some stepped on shit. Meaning they put in like baby laxative or whatever they're doing
They
lace it up, and then sometimes something really pure gets on there, and probably happened to Philip Seymour Hoffman or something like that. He would have gone without doing anything for like a long time, and just got back, and it's like, wow, man, this shit's really pure. Anyway, responsible. None of this stuff. None of it is the end all be all. None of it is, just say no. The brainwashing I went through in the 80s, from just the Reagan years, and just, when you do that, you create more of an illicit environment, a dangerous environment, because you're telling people, this. One puff is all it takes. Something, whereas like 80% of all the drug takers out there are responsible users. Now, mind you, 80% out of 300 million Americans is 20% is still a lot.
20%, that's a lot of
people. But you find going in any direction, just slow your roll, man. Come back to reality. Feel it, drink that water. Wake up in the morning. Feel what your base is like,
But another thing is, there's bigger consequences for addictions with some of these drugs, obviously.
And not
the
to
more
mention,
potent the drug, the more addictive the drug, you can totally ruin your life with obviously sugar can hurt your health pretty badly.
Yeah,
but
I mean, lately, what they've been saying, like now they're saying it's bad, like bad as cigarettes.
Yeah, but it's probably not going to steal your mind away, and put you into a immobilized state where all you can think about is getting your next fix. And that may be because sugar's so prevalent, you can just get it wherever.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely part of it.
But obviously, like even if you would say, okay, well, opioids, are technically safer than alcohol, the addiction is still there, just like it is with alcohol. So
yeah, and marijuana. There's two schools of thought on the marijuana thing regarding addiction, and they pretty much proved to a pretty sizable degree that it's not physically addicting.
Yeah.
But psychologically, I know.
What's the difference, really?
The difference is withdrawal symptoms, and like your heart.
But you can have psychological withdrawal symptoms. I mean,
yeah. But
totally,
but most of the time when they speak of addiction, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about the physical manifestation. They're talking about like, I have alcoholic friends. I have alcoholic family members, and cold turkey doesn't do the trick. Mm-hmm. You can do cold turkey with marijuana, and you're just bummed out. But like if you don't just lower your intake, your heart can freaking stop. You know what I mean? Like it can be dangerous. You got to know how to. All right, another thing I'll put in the description. This is from Joe Rogan's podcast, and he talks to a psychiatrist who deals with addiction, and he says that the best way to cut down is to cut down, like gradually, not stop all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. And also, like he would take people to the bar, mm-hmm. and he would say, it's like, do you really, do you feel like having another drink? And just getting into the reasons why, mm-hmm. The need to grab for something like that comes. So anyway, I'll put it out there. You're going to have a lot of stuff.
I mean, this man has 20 years ahead of me, so
yeah. And mind you, like I don't take drugs more than people I know. Like generally, people my age that have taken a lot of drugs, they take way more than I have in my life. I know people half my age that have taken.
Well, especially since we live in LA. I mean,
let's
be real. Drug use here is probably pretty high compared to other cities in the nation. I mean, I haven't looked at stats, but I do know, like most people that I know in the artistic world and in the entertainment industry.
It's kind of part and parcel. It's like what gets you there in the first place.
But it's usually they stick to it's marijuana and it's cocaine. Those are usually the two. You rarely see
lots of coffee.
Opioids, yeah, of course, coffee and cigarettes. Actually, cigarettes are also really.
Oh, by the way, just off the top of my head, 450,000 people, 450,000 Americans die from cigarette-related deaths a year. 5 million worldwide. Marijuana. Woo!
Zero.
When you OD on marijuana, you go to sleep. Pretty much, you wake up.
And how many people die from pharmaceutical drugs, prescription drugs?
And not to mention, this is another stat that's crazy.
Well, I think it's 300,000 is prescription.
Okay.
300,000 Americans.
We're going to look it up. I'll look that up. Because I'm also hearing that like just going to the hospital is really freaking dangerous. Mm-hmm. Like the malpractice deaths in way more.
I feel like this should lead us to Requiem for a Dream. We should gotta mention that. If you guys haven't
that's weird because I'm watching that. Peggy is the aunt of one of the guys to take care of during the week, mm-hmm. and the one that we're watching right now is Requiem for a Dream, and it's funny because we watched it within the last year, and I don't care. I don't care that I just saw it. There's so much good stuff in there, and it's funny because I see it on a lot of lists as being the movie that you can only watch once.
Yeah, well,
But
I wouldn't want to watch it again.
It's so well done. By the way, the director of photography did the Iron Man movies. You went on to good
Look at
things.
that.
He started good things
Because
went on to good things.
they're so similar.
Yes. Well, Tony's he's got a broken past. But the thing I like about
He's
that
an
movie,
alcoholic.
the thing I like about that movie is visually, besides being like the most it's basically anti-drug film ever made.
Oh yeah.
And not just one type of drugs, but all different drugs. And you see how it affects the teenagers. By the way, the guy going to be Joker, Jared Leto, phenomenal job.
So good.
Ellen Bernstein does the best performance of a female performance I've ever seen. It just, oh god, it makes me weep every
She
time
won
I see
something
it.
too.
She got nominated for best
She was nominated.
best
Best
actress.
supporting?
She lost. Yeah, I
No,
think because she lost to Erin Brockovich.
Okay.
But the thing is like you take that camera and you put it into the people's experiences. Very often whenever you see, I think that's the thing when we have an idea of what people are going through with their drug trips. The last thing in the world they would expect is what they're actually going through.
Yeah.
And how time.
Well, that's what's awesome about it.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that
yeah.
the movie is filmed from the perspective of these drug users, and you get to see. I mean, if you haven't seen it, you get to see what the highs are like, or at least how they would be
the
visualized.
highs. Yeah, I mean, look,
it's very great. But
a realistic way of looking at it is just saying it's not pure good, it's not pure evil. It does depend on the individual.
it does.
But
But I mean, I also want to say like the movie does effectively address the similarities between these illicit drugs and the legal drugs, the pharmaceutical drugs.
yes.
And how how those are just as deadly,
Just
if
as
not more so. And it's definitely
and that we have a culture that encourages it.
We do.
We have it's like we have a culture that says these drugs are good and these drugs are bad, and because it serves itself, it doesn't serve the individual. That's why it's
it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, guys.
Oh yeah,
pharmaceutical industry.
Crazy.
It's got so much
scary.
control.
Scary amounts of money. I say legalize all that shit.
Yeah, I'm right there with him. See, I told you guys we wouldn't be disagreeing on
everything
in this episode.
Legalize everything. We got the most people in jail per capita in any of the world. Most of them are, they're drug offenders, not hurting anybody but themselves, if they're even doing that. Usually they're just fine, but they get caught with the stuff. We are 5% of the world's population. We have 25% of the world's incarcerated.
Amazing.
The movie that you have to watch, and one day we'll see it, The House I Live In, which covers how it's like drugs and how certain people are being discriminated against. All right, really, just the conspiratorial thing, but actually has proof, is things like Chinese people. They finished with the railroads. What are we going to do with all these extra Chinese people? They liked opium. That was their drug of choice. Mm-hmm. We're going to make opium illegal. Now, and the funny thing that they mention is, the smoking version wasn't legal, but the pill version was. Later on, it's coming out that Nixon was he made marijuana Schedule I substance. That means there is no medicinal value to it, and it's just as dangerous as something like.
And it's still a
meth.
Schedule I substance.
Yeah, like heroin. By the way, heroin is not a Schedule I substance. It's Schedule II or Schedule. It's because of the painkillers that are illegal. Anyway, back to Nixon. One of the guys that was working for him basically said, like, we knew that the war on drugs was bullshit. We discriminated against hippies with the marijuana because we knew they were going to vote for us, and we discriminated against blacks with heroin. We made those two illegal. We put this idea that these people are dirty and that they're illicit and they're sneaky and they're creepy, and and then. And then you just I'm throwing the people who vote against me into jail, and like the guy's like literally putting that out there.
The power of the media.
Yes.
No,
complicit.
Really. Trump. Look at Donald Trump right now.
Who claims he never smoked marijuana ever.
He's the front runner, and yet the guy's positions change all the time. If you actually look at the amount of lies that he's said, things that can be disproven, like outright lies.
Lies are a drug too. Lies are the opiate of the masses, man. And beliefs are the opiate of the masses, and like people want to believe what they want to believe, and no matter if you contradict them right in front. Go ahead.
The media convinces people to believe a certain way. So it's people believe what they want to believe, but a lot of what they want to believe comes from the media. Yeah. It's so, you talk about illicit behavior, you talk about something that's going on behind the scenes. I mean,
when you take a look at the corruption that and Hillary.
Hey, but there's guys like us too who are giving you the honest truth, right?
That's it, because it's the
But you guys can take anything we say, any facts that we're saying.
Oh yeah, and that by the way, guys, I mean, like I'm totally serious about this comment thing.
Yeah.
If you're spreading it out, and like, I'm interested in hearing what anybody has to hear. Like literally anything. Like mock my ass.
Mock him.
And just tell us we're full of shit. And I'm like, who the fuck are these guys?
Just, like, drones on and on and on and on. Speaking of that, we kind of hit our mark, guys.
Oh God, I could literally talk for like 4 hours, and it hurts me. But we gotta discipline, and just know that whatever we can't cover now, we're totally gonna cover later.
We will.
Man.
We'll get to it. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a drugs part 2 or something. Or
oh man.
We can always go back.
Guys,
to things.
I mean, like, I told you, like, nobody knows what I went through. No, if you went through what it was, it's like my understanding is like acid. What I've gone through is like acid.
Guys.
I've been through the fire, and I know I come out of it. It's like, and I just know love and compassion, man. That is the truth. That is the real thing. You stick with that. You hold on to that. The way you hold on to your hash pipe or your crack cocaine or your cigarette, you hold on to love and compassion in that manner, and you're going to be all right.
Oops. Keep that burning, and I'm going to freeze us where we're at. A little fire, a little ice action.
That's
guys,
the one, right?
Have a happy media, and we'll see you next episode.
Toodles.
Peace.
An hour is about right, because that's when I take a monster fucking piss. All the freaking lubrication of it. Hey, good one, man. Good one. Woo! So,
we're 10 minutes over, but,
Yeah. Now, dude, again, man, I can't. We're just scratching the surface. But it's cool, man. I prefer it like that. I get manic when we do this. Like I gotta figure out times when I'm just kind of like settle, and you know what I mean. Like it's like, oh my God,
I've got so much I can say to people
at the same time, and I'm afraid that if I don't say everything, I'm gonna forget everything. And I gotta take that. Here, keep that thought. I gotta take that picture right now. Right. I didn't even get to mention that I was wearing my Walter White Breaking Bad shirt.
It's okay. People in the video saw it.
I hope so.